How is everyone doing out there? Welcome back to the channel. This is Zip, and I absolutely hope you are doing fantastic. Your mindset's on positive lock as we travel through this crypto journey together. Please remember, be safe out there. No one is proactively reaching out to you. And today we're going to discuss the Midnight Glacier airdrop and talk about some concerns out there. I want to make sure you have the latest information, and I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing with regards to that. We're going to talk about SBI and the affiliation that they have with XRP, Ripple, and what they're doing over there. It's exciting news. Some Bloomberg news out there about where this environment's going in the next couple months, as well as some SEC news. And again, the bigger picture, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we focus about on this channel, okay? We're not looking at the daily movements with regards to XRP or any of these other assets that we hold in the crypto space, because we understand the macro view, the big picture, and where it's going, and the patience that is required to get us across that finish line for profits. That's why we're here. We're here for profits at the end. Now, with that, let's talk about Midnight and the Glacier airdrop. It is now live, ladies and gentlemen. Now, word of caution out there first. There are tons of scammers that are going to come after you if you decide to participate in this airdrop. Am I participating in it? 100%. All right. We're not going to go into the details. I'm going to build another video because there's a couple little issues out there depending on the chain that we're talking about that was allowed and approved for this airdrop. All right. But we'll get into that here in a minute. My point is, be very safe. Do not click on any links. Do not download any software to your computers, to your phones. Not required. Go out to the actual Midnight website if you are impatient and you don't want to wait for me to do the deep dive. We have 60 days, ladies and gentlemen, to get this airdrop if you want to participate in it. So just be patient. We're going to keep calm heads. We are not going to get emotional because that's where mistakes are made. All right, so we'll be bringing you that probably this weekend because I have to work through some technical issues and make sure I understand it so that I can report it correctly to you. But one of the big things that came out of this, you that are XRP holders, you do qualify for the airdrop. However, to access that airdrop, you're going to have to use the Zaman wallet. All right, and I know what you're thinking right now. Well, my holdings are on my hardware wallet, a ledger, or whatever the case may be. We're going to work through that, and that's what I need to work on technically to figure out how that airdrop's going to work for you XRP holders. If you already have your holdings in the Zaman wallet, you're pretty much ready to go and you can go to the portal and collect. If you're a Cardano ADA holder, you're ready to go because you'll have a web wallet more than likely, or a ledger wallet that will work with regards to the Cardano environment. Remember, it's Bitcoin, it's AVAX, it's the BAT token, the BNB token. There's a couple more there. Point is, be patient. All right. Do not do anything recklessly. All right. Enough on that. Exciting though. Free airdrop out there. Now let's switch to XRP and talk about SBI Holdings. Those of you that are new to this environment, again, welcome to the channel. If you're brand new, appreciate the likes, the comments, and the follows. SBI Holdings over in Japan, okay, they are worth and hold $214 billion worth of different assets. All right, they have had a relationship and been strong with Ripple and XRP for many, many years. Go back into the video content library that I have. We talk about them often. They are a driving force, and they have a big picture of what is going on and where they want to drive this utility in this market. Well, it's come out now that they are applying for an XRP and Bitcoin ETF with Japan's FSA. Again, ladies and gentlemen, big picture, this is what we want to see. We're seeing all of these large players cementing their place into the markets with XRP and Bitcoin and many of these other digital assets. That's why I'm not a maxi in one project. If you are, that is fine. That is the choice that you have made for your journey. Nothing wrong with that. I like to be diversified. Point being is that SBI is absolutely a huge proponent with regards to XRP, and they're applying for an ETF with the FSA. We're seeing this across the domain, across the world. And speaking of ETFs, also, we're talking about ETFs here in this country, in the US of A, all right? And we know that's coming, and coming from Bloomberg's Eric Bakonis, he's stating and believing that our XRP ETFs could be approved as early as this quarter. We're in Q3, and he's believing with all the momentum and all of the stuff that is coming out from the SEC, which we're going to talk about more here in a minute, they're aligning themselves, establishing the rules, and he believes, remember, we still have that appeal case that's out there with Ripple and the SEC, and we're waiting on the SEC to drop that appeal. They've got a couple more weeks before a deadline meets, so we could see that case dropped at any point in time. When that happens, that then diminishes all of that legal clarity that has been holding many folks back, many institutions back, because they don't like to see it. Even though it's not a big deal at this point, they don't want to have any black marks. They want a clear path. And he is stating in this Bloomberg report that we're on the verge. Again, we're peeking in through the door is cracked, and when that happens, the ETFs for XRP and many others could be approved. What is that going to do? Big picture. Again, remember the supply demand, and that's why we want to be patient. When they approve those ETFs, based on all of the analysts, they believe there's going to be a swell of liquidity and capital that come into the markets. And the patient part is, it's not going to happen day one. When they approve these ETFs, yes, there'll be some speculative rise in price with regards to XRP, but it's going to take a little bit of time for that momentum, a month, a couple months, to see all that capital, especially if they're spot XRP ETFs. Remember, they have to buy the asset. They have to hold the asset on behalf of the individual that is buying, purchasing, the retail, the institutions that are purchasing that ETF. Very exciting. We're going to keep our eye on that. But again, this is why leading up to Q4, I've been saying and believing, in my opinion, we're really going to start to see this market take off, and that altcoin bull run that many people were waiting for and keep speculating about really start to take off. And again, I believe we're getting out of the phases of those the traditional bear and bull runs. I think this is going to be an extended period when we start to see utility in these markets for price acceleration with these assets that we hold like XRP. Exciting news. Stay here because we'll be reporting on that and bringing you the latest information. And remember, with that, that's why we're talking about have your system in place. Understand where you want to go in the future. Some of you may choose to exit. Personally, I would recommend, not financial advice, I wouldn't exit all of your bag, all of your portfolio too early, because there's going to be a lot of unrealized gains that you're going to lose on as this utility really starts to ramp up and we start to talk about derivatives. talk about the DTCC, Hidden Road, all of these different environments that it's hard to communicate into one video and piece of content to give you that broad picture of things that are coming. The best is yet to come. The future is very, very bright for this asset class. Please capture that vision and understand where it's going. And that's what I'm trying to bring to y'all. Beyond that, Bitwise's Matt Hogan commented on the SEC's Project Crypto. Remember, we brought you that last week. The SEC is transforming and supporting, along with the CFTC and the White House, the administration, their crypto project that he is talking to. You know, he believes, and he would know because he's tied in a lot deeper, that the momentum, the prices are not in the market yet. You know, this is not priced in to the current prices that we're seeing within the crypto environment. Again, another swell, another tsunami of excitement of capital that will be coming because of the SEC's crypto project and all the other things that are going on behind the scenes. Remember, the Clarity Act, the laws, the regulations, the roadmap that these institutions need. That Clarity Act should, and we're hoping, will be signed in September. I mean, we are weeks away. All of these things coming together, that snowball effect, which is absolutely going to impact price long term. That's the patience you need. That's why you have to be non-emotional and don't worry about the FUD that's out there and the tribalism and all the other things that you may be catching out on X, that if you are participating in that space that you see. Don't get caught up on it. Keep the vision locked and straight. Understand what you hold and where it is going in the future. That's what we need to hold on to and grasp. All right. And something else that came out from the SEC that is the bigger picture. They came out with a letter stating that certain liquid staking activities are not securities. LSTs. What do we mean by that? And why is that so big? DeFi. Listen to me. Think about the future and where this space is going. Liquid staking, which one of the projects that I talk about often, Flare. You're going to have the ability to stake your XRP and turn it into an LST, a liquid staking token, by minting, and allow, if you want, the capability to get into DeFi. Now, word of caution, you have to understand what DeFi is about. If you do not understand it, you could put yourself at risk, but there are going to be staking pools that are very stable and low risk. You may not get the yields and the returns that you see from some of the other ones because you're in a riskier environment. It may be the difference between earning 15% and earning maybe only 3 to 5 to 6% monthly. That's not bad returns, ladies and gentlemen. We're in here in this. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're educating each other. Drop it in the comments. Let me know where your thought process is right now. How do you feel? Do you feel the excitement? Do you see the bigger picture? Do you have that macro view of where we are going and the assets that you and I own? Remember, you own the technical stack. You own the software that is changing the financial system, that is changing the traditional financial markets. You have that, and I hope you own it securely. Get it off the exchanges. Keep it in your own possession, in your own wallets. If you're looking at institutional custody, I'm sure there's some solutions out there. Whatever you are doing, be very cautious, think through it logically, and be diligent because you own the future. with that, please, again, be safe. I cannot say that enough times. If you're looking at the midnight airdrop, be patient. We got 60 days. There's no hurry here. Let's not make any mistakes, because I want every one of you to make it across whatever your finish line is that you have defined for your future, for your family, for future generations. And until next time, Zip is out.